Hello, I'm starting a new series called Intro to Claude Code. This series is for software engineers who are interested in building software using Claude Code. We're going to explore all the different features Claude Code offers to enhance our software engineering abilities. If you're interested in these topics, feel free to subscribe and follow along. So let's first start with why. Why does Claude Code matter? Claude Code enables anybody who's curious to just make use of natural language to build powerful, highly customized software directly on their machine. Directly on their machine is important because when we make use of apps like Claude's web interface or any other vibe-coded online apps, they are building the software for you on their servers. Whereas Claude Code lives in your machine and we get to create files and edit them directly by means of using natural language. And the big thing here is anybody. Yes, Claude Code is used by a lot of professional software engineers to build software, but this tool can be used by literally anybody who is curious. Because using Claude Code, you can learn software engineering. You can learn about a code base. You can learn the context. You can understand the design decisions that were made in that particular code base. And that is amazing for anybody who is curious. And most of the software builders are curious. And so Claude Code becomes such a valuable tool for us who want to explore, learn, and build on top of our learnings. So that's why Claude Code matters. And how does Claude Code do the work that it does? How does Claude Code build software for us? Claude Code does it because it is an agentic coding tool. All right. So you speak to it in natural language, and Claude Code has all the necessary tools to read, edit, and create files on your behalf. And that's where the magic actually happens. Now, Claude Code itself lives in the upper layer of the stack. We know that for all these AI applications, the LLMs are the powerhouse, right? So that's where all the intelligence and power comes from. LLMs could be something like Haiku, Sonnet, Opus, or Feeble. These are all the different LLMs coming from Anthropic. And then in the middle, you have this harnessing mechanism. So the way you control these LLMs. In Anthropic, you have the Claude API, right? Using the Claude API, you can send prompts to any of these LLMs and get the response back. You can structure the response and you can steer basically the LLMs for your requirements. So that's what the Claude API helps us to do. It provides you all the bells and whistles to control the LLM. So that's basically the harness, the middle layer. Now, using this harness, we can build apps, right? So we can build all these AI powered apps, and that's where the actual money is. This is where we build for our business use case. We build to solve problems over here in this layer on top of the harness. Because the harness and the LLMs are provided by the foundational companies like Anthropic, for example, or Google's Gemini. They're pouring in billions of dollars to create the LLMs, and then on top of that, to control those LLMs, they are also providing us the API. But then we, as software engineers, we get to use this API and we live here, right? So we don't compete with the harness that they provide or the LLMs that they offer. Most of us wouldn't be working over here or here. We work over here where we build applications, we build solutions for problems. Anthropic itself has a bunch of products that live over here, which is essentially making use of the Claude API, which in turn is controlling, the LLMs. So one such product is Claude Code. Okay. So this is their flagship product that helps us to generate code. It is basically an agentic coding tool. So that's what Claude Code is. It's basically an application, an AI powered application that is built on top of the harness and the LLMs. We can access Claude Code either through the Claude's desktop application or through the terminal or through the VS Code plugin. Now, the way you download the Claude desktop app is just, you can search for it on Google. You have all the different download options on the official Claude.com website from Anthropic. And for the terminal, you could refer to the Claude Code docs, right? So you can just run this command, run this curl command on your terminal if you're using Mac OS, Linux, or WSL, or on your Windows PowerShell, you can run this command and that will install Claude Code in your terminal. You need to authenticate by means of logging in. You can start experimenting with the free plan. Then, based on your usage, you can use either the Pro or the Max plan, right? And then you also have the VS Code plugin, which we will look at when we open up VS Code. I've already installed all these three interfaces for accessing Claude Code. I'll show them one by one now. So this is how the Claude desktop app looks like. On the home tab, you have option to use either the chat mode or the co-work mode. And then you have the Claude Code tab here, okay? Now, personally, I don't use this mode that often because this seems to be aimed more for people who are vibe coding, who don't want to look at the code as much. It seems to be useful, but I personally like the VS Code plugin, which we'll be touching upon soon. But this is the interface, right? So if you just directly want to use Claude Code from the Claude desktop application, you just go to the Claude Code tab. You can pick a folder where you want to work on and then start describing the application that you want to build and it gets built for you, okay? So you can always open that folder and look at the code, but it's not exactly a traditional integrated development environment. And the second interface is through the terminal. I have Windows PowerShell open since I'm using Windows right now. Here, you just type Claude and there you have it, the Claude application running directly on your terminal. And you can basically ask it to do things on your folder directly from here. Now, the cool thing about the terminal is all the latest features of Claude Code first land here. Also, there are certain functionalities of Claude Code that work only in the terminal mode of Claude Code, okay? Now let's check out my favorite way of accessing Claude, which is through the VS Code plugin. Let me open up VS Code. In VS Code, to install Claude Code, just open up the extensions tab. There, search for Claude Code. Make sure it's the Claude Code from Anthropic, and then you just install it. That's it. Now I have already installed it and I have it over here. And there we have it. We have Claude Code directly running inside of VS Code as an extension. Now, as a Hello World project, let's ask Claude Code to build something simple for us. Now, instead of typing, I make use of a tool called Whisper Flow that directly transcribes my voice into text. Okay, so let's describe what we want Claude Code to build for us. I want you to create a simple pie-side application which has a big, bright green button in the middle which says click me. And when you click on that button, it should pop up a message box that says hello world. That's it. It's a very simple application that we have asked Claude Code to do. Let's see what it does for us. So let me just send this message off to Claude. Now you see, we are still using a chat interface to communicate with Claude, but the difference between the web interface and this Claude Code interface is it does take action on our behalf. See, it actually created this Python file for us. See, it has already wrote most of the code. So that's something that I like about, having Claude Code run directly inside of VS Code. I could see the code that is being generated. I can verify, I can, still have a sense of control as to what is going on. All right, it looks like it has completed the work. Let's try running this application by using Python. Python hello button.py. Cool, look at this. Just as we had asked, we have a nice big green button. Let's click on it. And here we have the message, hello world. And all of this was built from that prompt that we gave Claude Code using natural language, right? So you can see even the code over here. It built the main window with the button, and here is the styling, the green color. This is so cool, right? This is just scratching the surface of what all we could do with Claude Code. So in the upcoming videos, we're going to explore more and see all the different features that Claude Code has to offer people who build software. If you're interested in this topic, definitely subscribe and follow along. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!